Now, when it comes to inequalities, right? Yesterday we reviewed equations, right? When there's an equal sign. Now, inequalities, we have the less than, greater than signs. My solution has more than one answer, right? More than one number will make this statement true. Okay, so to begin with, let's take a look at number 39. In my notes, I'm asking you to solve each inequality and graph its solution. For your homework, some of your questions, I'm just going to ask you to solve it. Just solve. Some other questions, I'm going to ask you to just graph it. Now, again, on my notes, I'm going to do both. So that way I'm going to do how to solve and how to graph. For either way, I have to solve it first, though. First thing I'm going to see my inequality sign is there. My term that has a letter has to be on the left side. So my letter, my variable has to be on the left. In this case, it is on the right. So I'm going to flip everything. So what I mean with that is everything from the left side, I'm going to move it to the right side. And everything from the right side, I'm going to move it to the left side. And my inequality symbol is going to flip as well. So on the left, let me write negative 4v plus 4 is less than or equal to 24. So again, everything from the left side went to the right side. Everything from the right side goes to the left. My inequality symbol flips. Originally it was greater than or equal to. Now I wrote less than or equal to. Okay, my term with the letter has to be by itself. So my plus 4, this thing that doesn't have a variable, my plus 4, let me move it to the other side as a minus 4. So I have that negative 4v is less than or equal to 20, right? 24 minus 4 gives me the 20. Now to get v by itself, let me divide by negative 4. That's the number in front of v. So let me divide by negative 4. So I'm going to have v is greater or equal to. Now 20 divided by a negative 4, positive divided by negative is negative. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So I have v is greater or equal to negative 5. One thing I want to emphasize here. Notice my inequality symbol. It's switched. Every time I multiplied or divide by a negative, right? I divided by negative 4 in this case. Every time you multiply or divide by a negative, your symbol switches. Okay, so if I'm asking you to solve this, just solve this, my answer is v is greater or equal to negative 5. Now the symbol greater than or equal to, the way I'm going to type this in Canvas, I'm just going to go v greater than equal to negative 5. This is how you guys will type it. So this is just solving it. Some questions I'm going to ask you to graph it. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this, my key number here is negative 5. Now I don't see negative 5 in my graph, but I see a negative 6 and a negative 4. Negative 5 is right in between negative 6 and negative 4. So I'm going to say negative 5 is right here. I'm going to circle it, and in this case, I'm going to fill it in. It is filled in because of the or equal to. If it only had the inequality sign by itself, I have an open circle. If it has the or equal to at the bottom, it's a closed circle. So I'm going to close my circle. Now notice how my solution, the inequality sign, looks like an arrow that is going to the right. You guys see my inequality looks like an arrow that is pointing to the right. My solution will go to the right. If my arrow was pointing to the left, my graph, I will go to the left. What I mean with this is from negative 5 and anything bigger than negative 5 will give me a true statement. All right, let's take a look at number 40. I'm working up until 42 today. So to begin with, the letter has to be on the left side, which is what I have, right? I have negative 2 plus 3m is greater or equal to negative 17. I'm just going to write it down here so I can work on it. Okay, so what separate my sides is my inequality sign. If you need to graph a line to see the separation of the left side from the right side, then do so. I want the 3m by itself. So this minus 2, I'm going to move it to the other side as a plus 2, right? Don't forget to switch the sign. So I have 3m is greater or equal to negative 15, right? The signs were different, so I subtracted my value, 17 minus 2, and I kept the sign of the large number. Okay, now let me divide by 3, because that's the number in front of m. So m is greater or equal to negative 5. Okay, now here I have a negative as my answer, right? Negative 5. I did not flip the sign because technically, you see the number at the bottom, technically I divided by a positive. My answer is negative, but I divided by a positive. When the number here at the bottom will be negative, then flip the sign. Here I divided by positive, so I don't flip the sign. So if I'm just solving it, m is greater or equal to negative 5. The way you type this in Canvas, m is greater than equal to negative 5. That's if I'm just solving it. The way I'm going to graph this, have to circle negative 5. And again, I don't see a negative 5, but it's in between negative 6 and negative 4. Because of the or equal to, my circle is going to fill in. Now my inequality sign, it looks like an arrow that's pointing to the right. So I'm going to go to the right. All right, let's take a look at number 41. My inequality signs right here, I need to have the letter on the left side. Seems like I'm going to flip everything, right? So I'm going to have m over 5 plus 5 is greater than 7. What I mean with flipping is everything from the left side goes to the right side, everything from the right side goes to the left side, and the inequality symbol also flips from less than and move to greater than. Okay, I see a fraction, and like most people, most people don't like fractions, so let me get rid of fractions. There's a 5 at the bottom, so let me multiply everything times 5. And the reason why, because these 5s will cancel out. So that's going to give me m plus 25 is greater than 35. Okay, to get the m by itself, this plus 25, let me move it to the other side as a minus 25. So I have m is greater than 10. If you have to type this, m is greater than 10. Now to graph this, I'm going to circle 10. This time, I'm going to leave the circle open. And the reason why, because my inequality sign does not have that or equal to. Now, if you look up attention to the inequality sign, it looks like an arrow that's pointing to the right. So I'm going to go towards the right. Lastly, let's take a look at number 42. The letters on the left side, so that's good. I'm just going to copy it here. Negative 5 plus r all over 5 is less than negative 5. Okay, the letter has to be on the left side, so we're good. I'm going to get rid of fractions. My fraction has a 5 at the bottom, so let me multiply the left side and the right side. I'm going to multiply by 5, because that way these 5s cancel out. So that's going to give me negative 5 plus r less than negative 25. Don't flip the inequality sign because technically we multiply by a positive number. Now to get the r by itself, this negative 5, let me move it to the other side as a plus 5. So I have R is less than. Now here, -25, +5, signs are different. So let me subtract. 25 minus 5 is 20. Let me keep the sign of the large one. So in this case, -20. So my solution, R is less than -20. If I have to graph this, let me do an open circle at -20. Right, open circle because it does not have that or equal to. And then my arrow in this case, pay attention to the inequality. It looks like an arrow that's going to the left. So from my circle, let me go to the left. There you go.